screen has been visible to you guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
now a quick view. Yesterday, day before yesterday, any doubts? Your BCAS, DGCA, MOCA, NAA, any doubts?
No doubts, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No
Till
doubts.
now.
Okay. Then quickly moving on to the next AAI, that's the Airport Authority of India. Now I'll show you what exactly the Airport Authority of India is, okay, by a video. Then see, and why I'm showing a visual video is just to understand, because some people, when I'm blabbering, there is no point in, they just start thinking somewhere else, then their mind flows away. But when I show video, there would be an understanding of what the overview is. So AI, whatever video I'm showing you now, is the overview of the entire topic, what I'm going to take of the AI. So just look at the video and understand it. This is more than enough. And I have a video also for AI. So once this is done, the same thing, what you're seeing here, would be coming there. So I would explain you when the PPT comes. So look at the video right now, okay? Just tell me whether you are able to hear it or not. Audible?
Yes, ma'am, it's audible.
Okay.
That makes travel easy and fast. Infrastructure that provides safety and comfort. Management that ensures security and efficiency. Airports Authority of India builds, operates, and manages airports across India. We are currently managing 130 airports, connecting India regionally and to the world. While providing affordable flying for all, AAI is also working towards making India the third largest civil aviation market in the world. As an ANSP, AAI provides air traffic management services to the entire Indian airspace and adjoining oceanic regions, and enhances safety, capacity, and efficiency of aircraft operations through a network of multiple air routes. We at AAI use cutting-edge communication, navigation, and surveillance technology. As a responsible public sector undertaking, we are committed towards preserving the environment by way of optimal utilization of the airspace that helps save fuel and reduce carbon emissions significantly. Various AAI airports today use solar power for day-to-day operations. Most of AAI airports' buildings are rated highly on green building parameters by Griha. Bringing laurels to India, 6 AAI airports have been ranked among the best airports of the world by the Airports Council International ACI in 2017. Enhanced passenger capacity, improved customer delight, and advanced technology with world-class infrastructure. AAI proudly serves more than 300 million passengers. With growing demand, AAI is adding requisite infrastructure to cater to more than 550 million passengers by the year 2023. Airports Authority of India, working towards positioning India for global aviation leadership.
So, may I understand by looking at what AAI is?
Yes, ma'am. A brief idea we got.
Yeah, a brief idea of what AAI is doing in general. Okay, so now I will explain what exactly you saw. Okay. Now, AAI, now this is entirely based on Rajkot Airport, but don't think of that. This is a student who had done this an MBA student. One of my MBA student has done this. So, but don't look on that. We will just go on to the uh, introduction part, okay? As in what AAI does, okay? So what are their duties? What are their functions? Okay, these are all is the topic what you will learn for today. So AI, Airport Authority of India, extremely focusing only on India. All the infrastructures, all the surveillances, that is your ATCs, your ANS. ANS is your air navigation services. Is your communication navigation services. So ANS and CNS is a part of your RT, radio transmitters, and ANS and CNS is also a part of your ATC. So you have seen that the
What is
ATC guys,
CNS, ma'am? Excuse me.
communication navigation services. So under CNS comes your RT, your radio transmitters, okay, which you can see while boarding the aircraft, the airline staff would be having in her hand, and she used to be saying so many passengers is there to board, yet to board, one no show. So all these kinds of things would be transmitted to other guys, okay, who are there on the ramp. So they just directly can't go and speak. So radio transmitters is being used. Now that's a part of CNS. Now, if you talk about the ATC, ATC is also having a CNS thing where they have a. If you could see in the video, there's a guy who's speaking on a radio transmitter stating to the aircraft, okay, that's where the pilot and the ATC guy speaks, saying that this is the aircraft landing, or let's say 6E182 landing on ground. Then ATC will reply back stating that you have a altitude of this much to touchdown. All these things would be conveyed to the pilot. So that is called as CNS. Now, if you talk about ANS, ANS in general is something which you call as a propeller. You have the lights, right, on the runway. All these kinds of things is called as ANS. That is the air navigation services. So whatever you are taking on from the runway, from the taxiway, via air route, until and unless you land in other airport, all the procedures which comes under that, stating that you are on so and so. If you're flown on a flight, you might have heard the pilot been saying that we are in so and so altitude. We would be reaching our destination and so on, so on. So everything would be conveyed to the ATC of the other place also. So that kind of things comes under the ANS, that is Air Navigation Services. Okay, now Air Navigation Services, CNS, all these comes on the your ATC subject, so we'll not focus on that. It's just an introduction, so we'll just introduce you to the topic. Okay, now AAI is generally focusing on, if I say everything, okay, everything of the airport. Now if I talk the project of the airport, the layout of the airport, the infrastructure of the airport, the baggage timing. Okay, every airport should have a baggage timing. Now for domestic, it is 7 to 10 minutes. Within 7 to 10 minutes, the baggage, if at all an aircraft has been landed in an airport, then within 7 to 10 minutes, the bag needs to be on the baggage belt, okay, for the arrival passengers. So 7 to 10 minutes. And for international flights, it is up to 17 minutes. The passenger can 10 to 17 minutes. The passenger needs to be getting his baggage. So if you have seen the video, there is a department which is being shown as ACI. Okay, ACI is that kind of department which will give a rating to the airports. Okay, based on their infrastructure they are providing, based on the facilities they are providing, based on the customer service they are providing, based on the baggage timing of the baggage they are providing, how you are handling the baggage, everything would be based on this ACI would be giving the rating. So ACI's rating, if you stand in number 1, that means in ACI is giving you a first place, then your airport is is the best airport for a customer to travel, or is the best airport for a passenger to travel. Okay, Now, you have seen there are some of the airports which is being rated as they showed. Ahmedabad, Indore, Chennai, these and all have been rated by the ACIs. Currently, currently a month prior, Bangalore Airport also got into the ACI's ranking, and they have secured the ranking. I don't know which ranking they have got, but they have secured the ranking a 1 month prior. It's a 1 month prior thing. Okay, so this AAI checks on everything. Okay, the facilities, the infrastructure, let's say the air side, land side, everything they will see. Okay, in general, every airport comes under, that is every airport, every civil airport in India comes under AAI apart from your defense. Okay, now when he was doing this, it was 125 airports, but currently it is 130 airports, which is coming under AAI, okay, and which includes he has bifurcated this approximately 12 to 13 for international, and 10 customs airports comes under AAI, and 82 something to domestic airports, and 26 to civil enclaves. Okay, that is the difference. Now that is the differentiation. So we don't want a differentiation. Total of 130 is handled by AAI. Now, as I told you, this also provides the air traffic management services. Now, air traffic management services is those kind of services which is generally related to the air traffic. Okay, people think like that, but no. Air traffic management services is where, now if you're seeing in a particular airport, okay, you might be seeing the conversation between, or you might be listening to the conversation between the air traffic staff and the, let's say, pilot of the aircraft, stating that there is a, there is now, if pilot is saying that 182 is ready for landing, then all of a sudden, let's say there is another aircraft on the runway, then obviously the ATC will say that we are requesting you for a stability because EK 564 is about to take off. So in that case, the 60 needs to be holding there because the other flight needs to be departing until and unless you have a parallel. You have a parallel runway. Parallel runway is two runways where in one runway there would be a takeoff and the other runway there is a landing. So we don't go for various kinds of runways because that's not a part of us. So this is how the air traffic management system goes. That is, there shouldn't be any kind of accidents happening on the runway because it will affect the entire traffic management, right? Once if there is a crash on the runway, or let's say once there is an aircraft being holded up on the runway, then another aircraft won't be landing or won't be taking off. So it affects the entire aircrafts coming behind it, right? So to clear off such things, those kinds of jobs is done by the ATC, and in general those kinds of process is called as ATMS, that is air traffic management services. Now over the entire Indian airspace, so wherever, now it's been from Mumbai to Delhi, Bangalore to Mumbai, Delhi to Bangalore, anything, this AAI provides everything, pick and pack of everything. Let's say from the communication services from one airport until and unless the aircraft is the other airport, everything will be given by this AAI. So it is not only the infrastructure. If you say on air also, the services is being rendered by AAI. Now, if you go to some oceanic areas also, the ground installations is also being done by this AI. So in India, we rarely have that because until and unless you are going to another, destinations, okay, outside India. Okay, so then AI is entered into a joint venture with Mumbai, Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Nagpur airports to upgrade these airports and emulate the world standard. So this is what I said. These are some of the main airports which AI has been taken up as their project. Okay, because this is where when they start, looking at the surveys, they found out that more of the passengers was traveling from these particular airports. So this is the reason they took up this AAI. Okay. and they started upgrading this. They have upgraded it, and these all airports have secured the ratings of ACI. Now, all major airports over Indian landmass or radar covered 29 radar installations. So what and all they have done is that above the air mass, that is once the aircraft is flying, okay, the radar is being covered with now it is 35, okay, 35 radar installations are there, and 11 at 11 locations. So whenever you are flying, we have heard that the aircraft lost radar conversation when the aircraft is taking off from the runway. From that particular time, ATC would be viewing that runway, viewing that aircraft in their computer screen. Okay, so they have a connection until and unless that aircraft is reaching the other destination. Now, let's say the aircraft is flying from Bangalore to Delhi. Okay, until and unless the aircraft is leaving the Bangalore, borders. Okay, once it has left the Bangalore borders, the pilot says that entering into a unique zone of Delhi. Okay, in that case, the Bangalore leaves and Delhi starts picking up these particular aircraft. So that is how this aircraft moving from the airport have a constant review. It means they are reviewing this aircraft until and unless it is being touched down in the other airport. So everything, these now how do they check all this? Is that through radars. So via air also, AAI has installed some locations of transferring this radar transmitting things, okay, where they could find out the location of the aircraft. Now, 52 runways are provided with ILS installations. So whatever airports we have just shown, it is made up with ILS. ILS means Instrument Landing System. Okay, Instrument Landing System is where you have a propeller and kind of thing. So once we go on to the ATC, everything will be coming up with that. So ILS means Instrument Landing System. So these are the set of systems which will help the aircraft to be landing. Now, for an example, I will tell you, if at all you want to know a little deeper about ILS. When the pilot is flying, okay, he's about to land, there would be a circle, 3 sorts of circle on his system, stating that entered 30 radius, entered 20 radius, entered 10 radius, ready to touch down. So this is how the process on their system goes. So that means they are about, the airport is already been near, it is 30 kilometers. Now how you will ride a vehicle stating that 30 kilometers away, 20 kilometers away. So this is how the calculation of the aircraft is. So but they don't say it as kilometers, they say it radius. So 30 radius, 20 radius, 10 radius. So after 10 radius, the aircraft is ready to be touched down, because the runway's end point has come where it needs to be landing, or else it would run out of the runway. So that is how the process goes. So this instrument landing system helps in safe landing of the aircraft. Now, if we even say there are things where the aircraft is running out of the runway, but that couldn't be because of the ILS mistakes. Okay, it could be either with the pilot's mistake or for the aircraft any issues also that might happen. Now, AAI has undertaken Gagan project in technological collaboration with Indian Space and Research Organization. So it is also working with ISRO for a Gagan project, okay, which is already done for a satellite-based system. Because since AAI is providing everything, that is the installations and radars, ISRO had to talk to the AAI to provide certain things for the satellite launching also. So that is where these stuffs came up together. Now, moving on to the next slide. This is the instructor or departments of AAI. Okay. Now, there is no need for us to look at the names. Please don't look at the names, because this was an assignment done by him. So don't look at the names. This is the team which would be there. Now, APD is the head of the department, and operations, you have operations, then you have ATC. Okay, so in every place there would be one AAI staff being placed. Okay, CNS is your communication navigation services. Then civil is where your baggage handling system people sits. Electrical is where your electrical, how your baggage your belt runs. Okay, all these electrical purposes is being done by this team. Commercial is where your passenger service, so they have a proper check on the airline, they have a proper check on the airport, whether they are providing a proper facilities. All these things will be checked by the commercial team. CISF is also a part of AAI because they do a security check. MET means Meteorological Department. Meteorological Department mainly focuses on weather. Okay, the climate change, whatever is happening, so they start informing it. They have all connection with the ATCs. Okay, now if let's say that within half an hour there is a wind coming up, immediately they will start informing that none of the aircraft should be landing. You need to be diverting the aircraft because there is a huge wind. The climate would change, or let's say if there is an ice on the runway, immediately they say that there is you
Excuse me,
require.
ma'am, what is APD?
APD is the department. Airport Protocol Department. Okay, that's the head of the department, head of the AAI. Okay, so in each airport it is different. Okay, so don't focus on APD. You just think of AD because it comes as AI's director. Okay, AI's director.
Ma'am, can you spell MET like full form, ma'am?
Which one?
MET, ma'am.
MET, meteorological. Meteorological. METEROLOGICAL. Meteorological Department.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, meteorological department focuses on weather or climate. Okay, any sort of things or issues is coming up within half an hour or 1 hour, and there is a importance of diverting the aircraft, then immediately they will inform the ATC to do the same. Okay, so these team majorly focuses on that. Fire and safety, of course, your fire and safety department. Then Air India. Now, Air India is since it's a nationalized airline, one of the person of AI would be, of course, be present in Air India. Okay. So don't think that rest of the airlines do not have an AI staff. Actually, they don't have an AI staff personally because Air India was the first flight which was started and it's a nationalized airline. That's the reason one of the person is certainly given to that. But there would be another person in the office who would be looking after for the other airlines too. So this is how the hierarchy goes. Now, operation department, I have anyways explained you all of this. Now what they do is that they take care of your city side, the terminal side, and the air side. City side is where your parking lot comes. Okay, now from the entrance of the airport till you enter the terminal. So this in the operation department takes care of the city side too. So city side is also called as a land side. Okay. Now number 2, terminal side. Terminal side is your terminal. Okay. Number 3 is your air side. Air side is totally for your aircrafts. That is from your parking bay to your runway is the air side. Okay, so these all is taken care by the operation department. Now, city side, I have given you the he has already given you the example. Entry, exit, parking. This all comes under this area. Terminal side comes your baggage gate, departure gate, your arrival gate, security checkpoint, baggage screening, waiting area. So all these things inside the terminal is called as terminal side. Now, you might be asking, what is an SHA area? SHA area is the security hold area where your CIS would be done waiting, right? Once you collect your boarding pass. Okay, I'm sorry. Once you collect your boarding pass, you enter into the, you need to go to the departure gates, right? So for that, you need to clear the security check. So that kind of area is called as SHA area. That is your security hold area. Okay, now airside baggage makeup area. Okay. Now airside, you have baggage makeup area. That is your BMA. BMA also comes under airside. You have apron, runway. Your see this PAPI lights is all ILS instruments. Okay. See if you see instrument landing system, PAPI lights, DVO, VR, watchtowers, all this comes under the ILS instrument system. So let's not go to that, but he has given an example of that. Now in the air side we have civil department and electrical department also. So we have a civil department and electrical department. Now there can be a question which is shooting up in your mind stating that why an electrical department and why a civil department is being placed in the air side. Do you know? Any mere guesses?
For technical issue, like X branches, ma'am.
Technical issues of what?
Aircrafts.
Technical issues of aircrafts they won't be dealing. No. For technical issues to clear out, only the airlines engineers are there. So every airline is having their own engineers. Only they are supposed to take care of it. AI will look into it, but they don't care because it is for the aircraft. Because the airlines property is aircraft, so it is not AI's. I told you what property belongs to them. Any idea?
No, ma'am.
Okay, moving on to that. Civil department is those kind of department. Why it is placed in the air side is only because now let's say there is some issues on the runway, or let's say there is some issues
Like
on
the lightings on the runway, ma'am.
correct lightnings of the runway. Now you have seen the towards the runway it's all green lights. Okay, in some airport it's all the yellow, white lights. Okay, about the lights we will talk about later. Now we have seen in the air side once it is night time, beautiful view to view it. Okay, you have all the lights being placed. A single light got off. If a single light goes off, then the aircraft is in problem. Okay, because the aircraft landing, takeoff, everything depends on this light because they know where the runway is ending, where the runway is starting, okay, where you need to turn the aircraft to the parking bay. So the pilot sees only this. Now let's say there is one light being gone off. The pilot thinks that okay, there is a runway opening here. I can enter into the parking lot, and it might go on some other place. So this is where electrical team comes into department. If there is this one light is not working, immediately the airport staff will inform the electrical team stating that there is not no single light is working there, so we need to be recorrecting it. So before another aircraft is landing, so they will check with the ATC, is there any aircraft landing in a couple of time. They will say okay, within 15 minutes or 20 minutes there is an aircraft approaching, it might be landing. So within that 20 minutes there needs to be clearing this light up. So that is why electrical team is always there in the air side, because this is a very serious issue. This is very serious issue because your single if you don't concentrate on a single pin kind of thing also, your aircraft goes on toss. So that's the reason you need to be very careful. You need to be aware of your surroundings. Okay. So that's the reason AI is always placed an electrical staff there. Okay. Then civil department. Civil department are those department. Let's say now we have seen the runway. Runway is full of nice star put off kind of thing. Now let's say there is a break on the runway. Okay, a small kind of break on runways. How we go on our roads. Okay, that will again put the aircraft into trouble. Okay, so because if you have seen the aircraft's tire is very kind of heavy. Okay, the entire force, once it's landing, the entire force is being placed on the landing gear or the back wheel. So your runway should be so strong enough to hold that weight. Okay, now there are types of runways coming up. You have 2D, 4E and all coming up. So that is again a different subject. So your runway needs to be holding up with that particular weight. Okay. Now if we think of our normal roads, if the aircraft lands on it, there would be cracks only. So that kind of thing should not come on runway, because again, when the next aircraft is landing, there would be a problem. This would twist the aircraft off. Okay, the aircraft, because above it is not having a weight, but it is landing with